welcome back to the money series on the Abundant and Aligned podcast. You are tuning into part 2. So if you haven't yet listened to part 1, I would actually recommend you go back, listen to part 1, and then come back to this episode. Because in part 1, I give you a bit of a glimpse into why I have created this money series, why I am passionate about talking about money, making money, and changing the money story of thousands of women across the globe. The ultimate message at the start of part 1 is I am the biggest advocate of helping women create wealth because money gives us freedom. It gives us choices. And I am an advocate in helping you give yourself permission to want more money, have more money, and be a version of you who does have unlimited choices because money supports that. So go ahead and tune into part 1 and then come back to part 2. However, if you are all caught up and you are here, you're ready to go, you're ready to dive into part two, welcome to part 2. So before we dive into this second segment of the series, I have kind of dropped this on Instagram that I am busily working behind the scenes on a secret project right now, which I am so excited to officially announce on Sunday evening. So make sure you're hanging out on my Instagram on Sunday because I'm sharing the tea on what this project is. But I'm wondering if anyone is noticing what I'm putting down. If anyone has picked up on some guesses about what this secret project could be, hint, hint, what is our series about on the podcast? Anyways, I'm very excited to announce this secret project. Let me know if you have any guesses about what this could be. But as I said, I've been a busy bee behind the scenes, getting all of this ready to go. But yes, I will share all of the details on Sunday. But as I said, if anyone's picking up what I'm putting down, let me know if you've got any guesses about what the project can be, what the project is. As I said, you'll find out more on Sunday. And then by part 3, I'll actually be able to dive deep with you into exactly what this project is, and we can talk more about it on the podcast. So you will hear all from Sunday. And as I said, we can kick off part 3 with more about what this project is. But without further ado, part 2 of our money series is all about clearing your money blocks. And this probably is my favorite part when it comes to money work, because we live in a society, and for a lot of us, the way we were told to make money is to work really hard and to hustle and be this girl boss. And yeah, ultimately, if you don't have what you want in terms of money, you need to work harder. You need to trade more of your time in order to make more. I am a big advocate of stripping back that programming and really viewing your ability to make money from the viewpoint of you get to have more without doing more. And as I said, we are conditioned that in order to make money, we need to work really hard. So if you are in a point in your life right now where you aren't making the kind of money that you would like, or you do experience a level of financial struggle and you are ready to change that, and your default to making that happen is just to do more and exert more of your time, I am here to say that is actually not going to be enough. And for a lot of people, the more we're in this scarcity mindset of in order to make more, I need to do more, particularly those in business, this is really going to hit some home truths for you as to why, despite doing that, you still feel so stuck when it comes to making money. So in part 1, you would have established your new income standard, and you would know whether you are falling short of that completely, or maybe you have had this income standard in mind for a while now, and you just have hit a ceiling and it's not quite getting you to that income standard. What we're going to cover in today's the part of this series is the reason why you are having resistance to manifesting more money. Again, whether in your business, in your career, or just life in general. And it's likely not that you aren't doing enough. It's because you have some subconscious program that is running in contrast to the money goals that you have. So again, this is where I invite you. Analyze, what is your current financial situation like in terms of how much you're making in your business, in your career, or whatever, how money makes you feel, and the money reality that is reflected in your life. Again, how much are you making? Do you live paycheck to paycheck? Do you get an influx of money followed by heaps of bills, so it goes back out again? Or do you bring money in and like save it all and be stingy with your money and not spend your money for fear that you won't be able to replace it? So just really starting to analyze at this point, like, what's your money story? How do you think about money, feel about money, all of the things? Why we want to kick off there is because your subconscious program is running your show. So you guys know I'm a massive advocate on understanding your subconscious mind, and this is why. As we know, when you purchase a computer and you download the program Microsoft Word, you cannot use Microsoft Word until you've downloaded Microsoft Word. Then you can go ahead and use the program. If you bought a computer and tried to use Microsoft Word without the program, you can't use Microsoft Word. You are just like a computer, and you are only operating like you have been programmed to operate. A computer will only act in accordance with the program. You will only act in accordance with your subconscious program. And since this is a money series, we're going to focus on your subconscious program when it comes to money. And this is key to manifesting more, because it doesn't matter how much you're doing out there. It doesn't matter how much you're posting on social media. It doesn't matter how many hours you're pouring into your business or staying back late at work. It doesn't matter how many income streams you have. If you have a subconscious program that doesn't actually allow for manifesting more money, that subconscious program will prevail and in fact get in the way of you making more money. And the resistance that you may feel could be one of these. One, you literally work so hard and yet you still don't have the money story to reflect that. Two, you are good at bringing money in, but then you manifest big bills, or your outgoings over exceed what you're bringing in and you're left with no money. Three, you have hit a ceiling with how much you're earning and you spend it all. You live paycheck to paycheck. Or four, you bring money in, your money stays in your account, you limit everything you do in your life so that you're not spending too much money, because the thought of spending money makes you feel anxious and stressed, and it just feels super limited to you. So you are somewhere along there. And the reason you are in one of those phases, or maybe a few, is because of your subconscious program. Your subconscious program around money is literally just playing out in your life. So it's super easy to kind of get a bit of awareness about what your program is. Literally take a look at your life and just see how money shows up for you, how money's represented for you, how you think, how you feel when it comes to money. And that is a reflection of your program. So today in part 2, what I'm going to do is take you through 3 common money blocks that typically lie within the subconscious mind. And in particular, number 2 will test your conscious mind, because when I say and talk about number 2, it's fear of making money. Consciously, we go, why would I be scared of making money? Money is a ticket to freedom. Money does give us choices. Give me the money. I want the nice designer handbags and the luxury car and the travel and the nice home. And I want to be able to pay for things. Like, give me the money. Consciously, yes. Consciously, you may have that intention to make more money. But within the subconscious mind, if there is a fear that you having more money will equal X, Y, and Z, and that X, Y, and Z is something that you're actually demonizing, again, you will have that resistance to actually manifesting more money, because your subconscious mind, since its primary role is to keep you away from threats and to keep you safe, if it has sensed that you making more money would ultimately lead to something that you've deemed a threat, it's doing its job. It's keeping you away from the in quotes threats, and will keep you away from making more money. By now, your mind's probably going, But this stuff is so important because, again, this is where women are stuck on the rat race of life. Like, I want to make more money. I'm working really hard. I'm consistent on social media. I'm showing up. I'm doing the things, but yet I'm still not making the money I desire. It's because likely your subconscious program is holding you back. Likely your subconscious program is in complete contrast to consciously what you're trying to create. Good. So if you are able to, this is where I invite you to get out your notebook and your pen and actually write down what comes up for you as we move through these 3 financial blocks. If you resonate with one, if one is maybe new to you, if you have already figured out you have this block and you really need some help clearing it, whatever. Take some notes as we move through. This work is incredible in terms of the shifts that it will make in your life. So let's go. Block number 1. You were programmed from a very young age to believe that making money is hard and or money is limited. So rewind. Between the ages of 0 to about 7, you were downloading everything that you got told, experienced, observed, everything that was making up your life between those ages, you were downloading within your subconscious mind. Again, your computer system, you were downloading it all. Because of the way that your brain frequency was, and I'm not going to go into that too much in our series. If you jump into one of my programs, we will talk about that in detail. But because of the way your brain frequency was, you were essentially hypnotized between the ages of 0 to about 7. So you didn't have a filter system in place to block out information or question whether certain information was true or false or something that you ultimately wanted to download. You didn't have that ability. You downloaded everything. So this is where we need to go back and take a look. What kind of conversations were had in your household growing up when it came to money? How was money represented? How did your parents or guardians talk about money, deal with money? What was your money story as a young child? And no, whatever that was for you, you have downloaded in your subconscious mind. Now, this is where I want you to imagine a garden, and we have a bed of soil, and we have flowers on the top, and we obviously can't see the seeds underneath. Your flowers on top, or your weeds for some, are only there because the seeds were planted for that. Just like we can't plant something unless we have the seed for it. So your seeds have come from whatever money story you experienced growing up. Those seeds have then planted the flowers or the weeds that you now see in your reality today. So naturally, in order to have a new garden, we need new seeds. But before we can do that, we need to be aware, what seeds do we need to get rid of? Which seeds do we need to pull out? Again, if you have seeds planted in your subconscious mind, which would have happened between the ages of 0 to 7, continuing in your life, but mostly during those earlier stages, again, because you're completely being hypnotized, if phrases like making money is hard, money doesn't grow on trees, if there was this feeling around money that it was scarce and there wasn't enough of it, and there was this sense of again, scarcity and lack within your household, within your family, within your community when it came to money, you have likely downloaded that program that making money is hard. Okay, sure. Maybe you are now a grown adult and you have realized that making money gets to be easier. Perhaps you've seen people talk about it on social media. You've seen, TikTok videos, Instagram videos, listen to podcasts. You see on Instagram or on social media or within your world, women actually making money with a lot more ease. Sorry, my light is turned off. Yeah, maybe you've consciously got this awareness that making money can be easier. And we actually do live in a world now where it can be easier, right? Like, we obviously have a whole online world where you can make a lot of money. That is technically easier than maybe our parents and generations before us had to do when it came to money. Like me personally, I don't need to leave my house to make money. I can make money from wherever. It's all online. That to me is easier than having to get up and go to a job, a taxing job every single day on someone else's clock. So consciously, you may be aware, making money can be easier. However, remembering your subconscious mind is running your show. In fact, it's influencing 95% of your thoughts, feelings, personality, behaviors, who you are. 95% of who you are is coming from that subconscious program. So you can have this conscious belief that making money can be easier. It's why I started a business in network marketing or online coaching, or, it's why I have a team of staff to like do the hard work for me. Consciously, I know this. But again, if you still have this subconscious program that making money is hard or money is limited, this is going to continue to run the show. How this may be showing up for you is, as I said, making money may literally be such a hard task for you. What I want to just put in here, and again, if you do one of my programs, we go into this in a lot more detail, but money is just energy. However, because of the programming that making money is hard, we have a belief that overnight success isn't real, in quotes, overnight success isn't real. Success takes many years. Making a lot of money is like this hard slog. If you have been programmed for that, that is exactly what's going to show up for you. So you may come into your business with this goal to hit 100K in your first year, but your programming is like, no, making money is hard. Your program is, in order for you to hit 6 figures in your business, you need to be at this for at least 5 years. I don't know. And it needs to be hard, and you need to be showing up and failing a lot and putting yourself out there and having no shows. And that's how you're going to hit that 6K, 6 figures. Again, consciously, we're like, every day is a new day. I'm going to hit this income. But your program's like, no, that's not. We don't have the software for you to make money quite easily. Our software is making money is hard. So to wrap up financial block number 1, really consider, how was money represented for you growing up? Think about what you were told. Think about the common phrases that you would have heard. I heard a lot, money doesn't grow on trees. Think about what you would have observed when it came to money. Again, I'm not going to go into this in too much detail, but for me, and I think I might have mentioned this in part 1, my dad had his own business. We had cash quite often. Mum would ask dad for cash. We would go to the shops and spend it all. Mum would then say, we have no money. I obviously, as a young child, literally took that, like literally we have no more money, subconsciously, right? So these are just some examples of some things that you would have downloaded. And a quote by Dr. Bruce Lipton. He says, consider what you would have downloaded during the first 7 years of your life, because that is the program you're now running your life from. So go back, think about your money story, and then start to analyze and journal on how that is now playing out for you in your reality. Cool. Money block number 2. You have a fear of making more money. And like I briefly said at the start, to the conscious mind, this does not make sense. We want the nice things, the designer handbags, the luxury car, the success, the influence. We want the nice trips, the first class travel. Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Every single month in our business or in our careers or however else you make money, you show up with this conscious intention to make more money. If, however, you have a subconscious program that has somewhat demonized money, again, like I said, your subconscious mind, its primary role is to protect you and keep you safe. It will kick into survival mode to keep you away from threats. If during your lifetime, money has been in the same room as stress, anxieties, tension, the way your subconscious mind has picked that up information has gone, not a good feeling around money. Every time money is spoken about, dealt with, it's got this sense of like stress, fear, anxiety, overwhelm. It's causing an emotional response in your body. Cortisol levels have gone up. You're literally feeling this scarcity. You're feeling this stress. You're feeling this fear. However those emotional responses are, your subconscious mind has picked up. That is therefore a threat. So what we're going to do is keep you away from that threat to keep you safe. Again, going back to some common phrases you may have heard, again, representation is big to figure out if you have a fear of making money. But again, let's start with some phrases that you may have heard. If growing up, your parents or guardians or those in your community and family often made comments like money makes people bad, money is evil, no one does good with money, rich people are greedy. You may have this subconscious program that the more money you make, it's going to equal greed, evil, bad, like no one's going to like you, whatever. So again, it's like you've got this program that if you have more money, it's going to eventually lead to something that you're ultimately trying to avoid. So if we can avoid you making more money, we're going to avoid you being, doing, having something that you ultimately don't want. Somewhere else that you may like to look into is when it comes to this fear of making money is if you actually made the money that you desire, 20K months, 50K months, 100K months, like if that genuinely happened for you by next week, what effect would this have on your entire life? How would your business change? How would your influence change? How would your interactions with your friends? How would your conversations change? Who would you actually be if that was the case for you? For many women, there's a fear in there that the more money you have, the more success you have, it may equal more overwhelm, more like you may lose your sense of time. Maybe you started your business for time freedom and then you make all this money. So now you've lost your time freedom and that's not what you came here for. So these are some things, again, if you have demonized them, you will not attract it. With this exercise, and again, join me in one of my programs. I'll help you do this in a deeper level. But what we need to do around this is start to debunk the fear. So establish, what is the fear there? Am I scared of making more money? Or if I make the money that I'm saying I consciously want, what's the worst case scenario? What is that going to mean about me? What am I scared of happening? What am I going to lose? Get that down on paper and then sit with it. Is it actually true? Or does another narrative exist where I can have heaps of money, create success, but also still have time freedom and also still have time, to do the things that I love. And success doesn't have to equal what I thought it was going to equal. So starting to debunk it, and what you're starting to do is interrupt the old neurological pathway that has made you have those previous thoughts, and you're firing up new ones. Financial block number 3. Financial struggle is normal for you. Struggle is in your identity. It's all you know. And a life where you have overflow, abundance, more than enough money, a life where literally you have that much money, you don't ever need to worry about it again, is a life that you have never lived before. Again, the subconscious mind, its primary role is to keep you safe. If your future can look like your past, your brain can register, we're going to be okay. It will be safe. If your past has involved a sense of financial struggle, your brain is going to want to keep you in financial struggle because to the brain, it's familiar. You're comfortable, and therefore it is safe. You having all the money that you desire, who would you be? What would you now talk about? Because most of your conversations now, aren't they about how much you don't have money, you're broke, you're not good with money? Aren't most of the conversations you have with your partner about how we need to save more money, how we're going to pay that bill, the kids' school fees are coming out? So when you're not having those conversations, what are you going to talk about with your partner? How are you going to relate to your friends at coffee when they're sitting there complaining about how they have no money, or how they really want to go to Europe, but they can't afford it, and how they really want to move out of their apartment, but they don't have the money? What are you going to talk about after that? What are you going to think about? Because aren't most of your thoughts about how you have no money and then you feel really bad about that and your life is restricted because of that? Like, isn't that who you are to your core? So if I was to remove financial struggle and give you all the money that you want, how would this affect your entire life? This is where we go, oh my God, I don't know who I would be. I don't know what I would talk about. I don't know what I would think about. I don't know how I would feel if I wasn't anxious about paying my bills. Who would I relate to? Because financial struggle, while not normal, it is common. How would I fit in? Will my friends still like me because I've got money and so I can't relate to them when we go for coffee anymore? No longer struggle in your life. It's like, who will I be? And a life of ease is simply unfamiliar for you. So again, your program is going to keep you in the financial struggle. Your program is going to make things harder than they need to be because that's normal for you. You're used to that. You're used to struggle, and you're good at navigating it. And that's another thing that comes up a lot actually with my clients. It's like, We wear this badge of honor, like I can get through the hard times. You know, it doesn't matter how much I stress about my bills, I always can manage to pay them. Like, you know what I mean? We wear this badge of honor of like, I get through the hard times. I'm someone that can defeat struggle. So it's like, if I took away the hard times and took away the struggle, what would you be able to boast yourself? Well, you know, what would you be able to talk yourself up about? You could no longer wear that badge of honor because there is no struggle in your life. Again, sit with what I'm saying, because I'm really challenging your subconscious beliefs. And for a lot of people, we haven't even turned our minds to what our subconscious beliefs are. We haven't even really got to the core of what makes you, you. What is influencing your thoughts and feelings and ultimately your life? And again, we just play surface level so often, and we just think about our conscious thoughts and feelings, which is literally 5% of who you are. So these questions are really challenging, like, oh my God, you are so right. I am literally addicted to the struggle. I literally make things harder than they need to be, because if things were easy, that would be weird for me because I'm not used to that. I'm used to things being hard. Something else is your brain is wired to seek out threats. It is wired to seek out any potential or anything that will pose to your safety. It's how our brains are wired. Evolutionary, it's just how we're here. Makes sense for some things. Your brain needs to kick into survival mode if you're about to step out in traffic and it can hear a car approaching. It needs your subconscious to react before you're consciously aware of that car to get you out of the danger. In those situations, it's really helpful. But when we are constantly in this state where we're looking for the struggle, we're looking for the threats, we're looking for the fear, we're looking for the worst case scenario, we're allowing that subconscious survival mode to overtake, then we're continuing to manifest struggle and hardship and fear and doubt in our physical world. So it starts with having that awareness. Am I addicted to struggle? And I want to say for most of you, your answer to that will be yes. Consciously, that doesn't make sense, but subconsciously, yes, you are addicted to struggle. And a life where struggle was no longer a part of you and you had more than enough and, you know, ease was your default. Yeah, it's like, who would you be? What's the new identity? Your whole life is going to change. And again, consciously, you may want that. But again, to the subconscious, change is scary. It's big. It's unfamiliar. It's unpredictable. So that is block number 3. So block number 1, you have a program that making money is hard and money is limited. Block number 2, fear, you have a fear of making more money. And block number 3, financial struggle is your normal. It's in your identity. And if I was to take your financial struggle away, who would you be? Who's left over? A version of you you've never lived before, a version of you you've never met before, a version of you that's unfamiliar. So what do we do to clear all of this? Hint, my new project I'm working on. No, what we do to clear all this is know how to get into the operating system, remove the seeds that I said was planted, and insert new ones. And this is where knowing how to upgrade your subconscious program when it comes to money is the most powerful thing you'll do, because your life is running off the program. So suddenly it literally does not matter what you're doing out there if you have a program that's expired and limited. You change that program, your whole life changes out there. And this is where suddenly things just fall into place. Opportunities come out of nowhere. People come out of nowhere. You want something, you get it. Suddenly you have just unlocked the ability to completely control your life and completely influence how things are happening out there, because everything that's happening out there is literally coming from you. But sometimes we forget that. The human condition is to blame everything out there, blame events, people, the government, things out there. But it is all in reaction to us, our program, our subconscious program. So be aware of your subconscious program, identify where the contrast is, and get to work on getting out those limiting seeds and replacing them with seeds, beliefs when it comes to money that will actually empower you, actually lead you to the money story that you are desiring. actually making money with ease your new default. That is it for part 2. Once again, let me know on Instagram if you had any takeaways, aha moments, any massive realization. You're like, oh my God, it suddenly makes so much sense. Let me know over on Instagram. Part 3 is all about how to actually now make more money. And you will, like, leaving actually making more money to the very last part of this series was intentional, because there's no point us sitting here having conversations about how to add income into your life unless you've actually healed any potential financial blocks. Unless you've actually healed any potential financial blocks that may get in the way of you manifesting more money. Because I can throw a million different options at you, not a million, but you know what I mean, heaps of different options at you in order to make more money, but they're no good to you if you have this financial resistance underlying. Clear that, then we can talk about increasing your income. And you guys know I'm a massive advocate on empowering you to increase your income versus shrinking your lifestyle. So I'm excited to conclude our money series with that final part to the series. Thank you for those who have been tuning in. Thank you for those who have been sharing the money series on your podcast, on your social media. I'm so grateful, because obviously it helps me share the podcast with other women. It helps us make a bigger impact. It helps us as a collective change the money story for women. And yeah, I'm just so grateful that you're helping me do that. So if you haven't yet shared the money series on your social media, I would be so grateful if you could. Make sure you tag me so that I can see it and thank you, and reshare your post as well. But that's where we'll leave it. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys next week.